Hey guys, so this is present me, future me, whatever you want to call it, compared to the video you're about to watch, but before I get into it, I do want to make sure that these things are said, just so that way you know. Number one, this series is going to be a series, it's going to be several videos that will run all the way from now through, at the very least, the end of October, if not a little ways afterwards, and if not long afterwards. It kind of depends on what I end up doing. Regardless, the beginning to end thing is true. It is going to cover everything that I do from Man of Darkness, from the rewrite, which I had to do for this book. I normally don't do rewrites. Through the entire editing process, through the formatting process, through the book cover design process, through the proof ordering process, putting it on KDP, officially publishing it, doing the promo graphics, doing the sharing the snippets, the cover mock-ups, all of that stuff is going to be in here, and I might also do a little bit of a video at the very, very end that will be like the rest of the promotion stuff that I do after the book is published. I use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and then of course YouTube, as a way to put myself out there, as a way to get my author's name out there, and a way to get my books out there. So there might be at least one video at the end about all of the things that I have done for that aspect of things, but we will see. It kind of depends on what you guys want, I suppose, but even if the promotional stuff isn't completely in there, everything else will be. The graphics, the mock-ups, the covers, the formatting, all of it. 2. There will be a couple mentions in the first video, at the very least, of the Cut to the Kill beginning to end series, which at the time that I started filming this, I was filming a beginning to end series for Cut to the Kill, but in the end, although I love Cut to the Kill, the book, and I'm so proud of it, the video series wasn't concise, it wasn't well put together. The videos were very choppy, they were very sporadic, so by the time that everything was edited together, it just wasn't going to work. And then by the time I got to like edit 7 of Cut to the Kill, I wasn't even filming anymore because I knew for a fact it was way too choppy and that it wouldn't provide anything useful for you. So you can disregard any mentions of that. I'm still going to leave them in because it's in the midst of everything else that I'm talking about, but you're not missing anything. Those videos aren't on my channel. And then 3. This is a beginning to end series on the way I self-published Man of Darkness. It's not the same order that I might self-publish Ashes in the Light or Cut to the Kill or any of the books that I do next. It's just the way that I self-published Man of Darkness. It is not the only correct way. It is not the only guaranteed way to do something. It's not the way that professional self-publishers agree on doing something. It's not the way you have to do it. It's not the way everyone does it. It is the way that I did it for Man of Darkness. So although you can definitely watch this series and use it as a way to give yourself an idea of what the steps are, or how much work might need to go into it, or how much time you might need from beginning to end, it's not a hard and fast rule book of what you have to do or what you should do or how long it has to take or what rules you have to abide by or anything like that. It's to give you a baseline idea of how I did it for this book and how you might be able to do it for yours. At the very least, it might spawn an idea of what you can do or what might not work or what problems you might encounter. And that's it. That's my main goal. It's not a hard and fast rule book of what you have to do. There are no rules in writing, and there are no absolute hard set rules for publishing or self-publishing. There are guidelines, there are things that you might want to look into, there are things you might want to research, but that's about it. This is one of those series that is what you might want to look into and what you might want to be aware of ahead of time. So with that being said, here's video 1, and at the very least, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope to see you stick around until Man of Darkness is released in October. Hey guys, welcome to the first video of the beginning to end video series for Man of Darkness. This will walk you through my editing process, the cover process, the formatting. It'll walk you through everything that I'm doing to get this book self-published by hopefully October. Or sometime within October, I suppose. But it is currently January 28th, 3:26 p.m., And on January 25th, I started the first edit of Man of Darkness. Last year, in December, I rewrote Man of Darkness in past tense. The book was originally in present tense, and although I liked writing that one in present tense, which is one of the only times I can say that, there were a lot of sentences that were just awkward, and I personally couldn't fix them because I don't have enough experience in present tense to make the sentences look less awkward. I don't really enjoy reading present tense, so I also don't have a lot of experience to draw from reading it in order to write it. So I made the decision to rewrite it in past tense. I began that on November 21st of last year, and I finished it on December 13th with 30,115 words. Man of Darkness is a novella, not a novel, and in short, the main character is a Reaper, you know, like Grim Reaper, and he's been assigned 3 souls to protect on Earth to make sure that they do not meet their demise before the time that fate has set for them. That's all I'll say because I can't remember what the book blurb is, so I don't want to spoil anything. But when I wrote this series, or this book, when I did the rewrite, it was right around the time that I first started heavily experiencing a lot of knuckle pain that can most likely be attributed to arthritis. And there were a lot of days that writing with my actual hands was a huge pain, and it hurt to no end, and I just couldn't do it. So for the most part, I ended up writing that book using Google Docs' speech to text function. So right now, during Edit 1, which is just a normal read-through, no Google Translate, no Grammarly, nothing like that, it is just a normal read-through with Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spacing. Editing the document exactly as I wrote it. And right now, most of those changes are just fixing the stuff that, the errors that were made during the speech-to-text translation. There are some parts where Google Docs randomly capitalized a word. So if the sentence is, he walked down the hall, hall is capitalized. There are random words that are just capitalized in here for no reason. I think anytime that Miles, the main character, talks about the human souls he's protecting, souls is capitalized. I don't know why, but whatever. I fix it every time. But that is what most of this edit is. I am also going through and making sure to change it so that way there are less he said, she said, character said, so on and so forth. That's a personal thing that I need to work on, but most of the books that I wrote in 2016, end of 2016, and up through 2017, and even 18, have a lot of issues with that. Toward the end of 2018, I was much better at it, but I've never really noticed it much until someone on Twitter made me entirely self-conscious about it, where they criticized my writing and told me that my prose was choppy, sloppy, and I needed to remove the he said, she said stuff, even though there was only one of them in that paragraph, but who am I to judge what the Twitter experts say, right? Writing community, I tell ya. But so far, even though I started it on the 25th, that is the only day I have done any actual editing on it. That was a Friday. I didn't do any editing on Saturday or Sunday, mostly just because I don't do a lot of editing or writing on the weekends. There's nothing super exciting. We went shopping on that Friday, and I just did editing the whole time that we were gone. So that's the only reason that I made progress there. But I edited 4 chapters, the prologue and the first 3 chapters, and it ended up with 5,098 words. So, progress, I suppose. But that's all I have at the moment. I am going to work on editing Man of Darkness today. I have lunch working in the kitchen, so I'm going to finish making lunch, and then while I'm eating, I'm going to start editing again. I need to have... hold on. In order to finish this by whatever date I have set, February 3rd, I need to edit 3,574 words today, and that shouldn't be too big of a problem, so that's the goal. but I'm going to go check on the pot of water that I have boiling on the stove, and then I will give you guys an update once I do some editing on Man of Darkness. Alright, so I only had to edit 2 chapters today to meet the word count goal, and I ended up editing 4,421 words today on Man of Darkness. So I will come back tomorrow for the first edit and start with chapter 6 and go from there. I also think at some point I'm going to go back and try to add a scene in one of the first chapters. I don't know which chapter it's in, but it's a scene that I've wanted to add since the rewrite. I just didn't add it during the rewrite because I was trying not to change anything, but we'll see. But I will see you guys again either tomorrow or when I finish this edit or somewhere in between. Totally depends on when I remember to record again. But for now, today's work on Man of Darkness is complete. Hey guys. So, although I had planned on making this video series much more concise and put together than the beginning to end series on Cut to the Kill, I've already made a huge mistake in that plan. It's currently March 15th, and the last time I gave you any progress updates on Man of Darkness, it was January 28th, a few days after I started the first edit of the Man of Darkness past tense rewrite. So, we aren't off to a great start on this series and it being very well put together and me actually doing my job and updating you on how things are going, but I'm going to do my best to actually keep you updated in time with the process rather than months afterward. That is the goal anyway. So with the first edit, I finished it on February 3rd with 30,543 words. Since then, I haven't done anything with Man of Darkness. In the middle of all of this, I have other books that are being written. I have a book set to release on March 26th, and I have another set to release on June 18th. And then I'm also in the middle of researching a book for April Camp Nano. I have a lot to do, and with this release date of Man of Darkness being the furthest away at this very moment in October, it's gotten pushed to the back burner quite a few times, which I really hate because I love this book, but when it comes right down to it, it's more important for Ashes in the Light and Cut to the Kill to be done first because they are coming out first, to say the least. So all of that being said, today I'm going to start another edit of Man of Darkness, today, again, being March 15th. The second edit is normally, for me, supposed to be a Grammarly edit where I just put it through Grammarly and I only look at the suggestions Grammarly makes and I accept the ones that make sense and I deny the ones that don't make sense. But I don't want that just yet. I still have sentences that are odd and clearly still stuck in their former present tense formulas, though they have been changed to past tense in the verb sense. The sentences themselves are clearly constructed for a present tense story because I didn't change those, and during the first edit I could not figure out how to change them either, so I just left them as is, and I need to fix that. Past Courtney left it for future Courtney, and future Courtney is me, and now I have an issue. And I think that's putting it gently. Some of those sentences are terrible. So with this edit, because it's not edit 2, and I don't want to totally screw up the way that I do edits, I'm going to call this one 1.5. I'm going to focus a lot on the sentence structures and do my best to make them less awkward and clunky and make everything more past tense oriented and make sure that the sentences are read like they're supposed to be past tense, because they are. I also have something that I want to add in one of the first scenes where Lucifer is featured, because again, this story is about a Reaper. He's in hell, so is Lucifer. It's an incredibly small thing that I plan on adding, but given who Lucifer is and how he's portrayed in the other stories that he's been in previously of mine, I think it's something that's totally necessary, and if I do decide in the future to write a story about Lucifer, instead of just Miles and some of the people that he works with, or works for, or something. I'm not sure how to phrase that just yet, but if I ever decide to work on a novella or a novel for Lucifer, this would help set it up, to say the least. So it's necessary for me, anyway. So, edit 1.5 will just be a normal read-through. There's no changes to the font, there's no use of Grammarly, there's no text-to-speech function. It's just a normal read-through like I did in the first edit, except for this one focuses heavily on sentence structure. Hopefully that'll fix it. We'll see. I'll be working on this today in between writing, gaming, and a few things related to my March release, Ashes in the Light, but I'll be sure to update you guys once I've made progress for the day. I also might dive into research at some point. It depends on how my knuckles and my wrists hold up, and as I'm editing Man of Darkness, I will also be taking notes on Karen, Ethan, and the other character that I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head, because it's been a while since I've looked at Man of Darkness. But in April, I am also planning on writing a novella spinoff for one of those three characters, probably Karen, and I need to take notes on all of them for that purpose, because I don't know who it will be about, I don't know what it will involve, but I do hope to write it and hope that it goes well, so I need to take notes as I'm editing on all of the human characters that are featured in the book. That was a lot to say. But that's all I have for this very moment. I'm actually going to go back into the living room now and start on edit 1.5, and then I will update you guys as soon, hopefully, as I have actual progress to give you. I don't know when it will be, I don't know how soon that will be. It will be sometime today, but that's all I know for certain. So, all of that being said, this time, I promise, I will see you guys soon. Hey guys, so it is currently 2:15 in the morning on the 16th, and I'm just getting around to what I did yesterday for Man of Darkness. I edited the prologue and the first chapter before I finally went to sleep, sometime after 4. But that was 1,717 words. I did some correcting sentences, I added some new sentences, I added some new descriptors. I'm much more comfortable with those first two chapters than I was previously, so that's something. Today, in between writing and Camp Nano prep stuff, I will be editing, hopefully, at least the next 2 chapters. My progress on the weekends tends to slow down, both in writing and editing, so we'll see what happens, but I do still plan on doing my best to edit at least 2 chapters. So we'll see. But either way, I will give you guys an update when I have more of an update to give. Hey guys, I apologize for the darkness, but I am filming on my phone, and if you've ever watched anything else on this channel, my phone does not record light at all. I literally have the brightness on my tablet turned all the way up to act as a light. It is blindingly bright, and you can barely tell the difference. But it is 6:31 in the morning on the 16th of March, and I'm going to get back into editing Man of Darkness here in just a few. I've been writing all morning so far. I need a quick break for my knuckles and my wrist. But once I'm ready to put my wrist brace back on, I'm going to start editing, see what happens. I never actually took notes on the prologue or the first chapter because I'm not very good at what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm going to do that. I only really have to take them on chapter 1. That's the only time a character other than Miles is introduced, and she's in it only briefly. But I do need to take notes on her, I need to take notes on Miles, and then I need to take notes on the other 2 human characters that are featured heavily in the book sometime after that. But once I get through chapter 1 after my break, then I'll move on to actually editing chapter 2 and taking notes as I go instead of after. But I will give you guys an update later on progress. It will most likely not have any talking because it's a weekend, so I'm not home alone. I only record talking parts when I'm the only one awake. So I will give you guys a quick update at some point, just show you how many chapters I edited, the notes I've taken, and how many words the chapters were. And then that will be it for the day, and I'll see you guys on Sunday, most likely, hopefully. But I am going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to get into notes and all that fun jazz, and I will give you guys an update at some point. Hey guys, it is 4:51 in the morning on the 17th of March. Yesterday I edited 3 chapters in Man of Darkness, chapters 2, 3, and 4, which was 5,400 words. I'm going to flip the camera around real quick and show you the notes that I have taken on it so far. I didn't get through a lot, but 3 chapters was still more than I expected, so that's something. But I'm going to shine a light on it and flip the camera around and show all of those to you real fast, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so up here we have a legend, I think is what that's called, of what all of the colors mean. And then we have notes on Miles and Karen and Ethan and all of the characters, and then just random facts and anything that might be considered important for any novella that might eventually occur. I'm going to set this down for a second. And then we have a few on this side as well. Hooray! Been fun. Writing does kill my hands, especially my dominant hand, because of my knuckles and my wrist and all that fun jazz, but I did my best to keep my notes organized and not sloppy and all that fun stuff. But I have some writing that needs to be done today before I can dive back into editing on Man of Darkness. I need to write over 2.9 thousand words, and I don't know how long that will take me, but once that happens, I'll work on editing Man of Darkness again, and I don't know if that will be today or Monday, but either way, I will give you guys an update at some point once I actually have more progress made in the edit process. Hey guys, it is currently 3:51 p.m. on April 3rd. Things have been pretty hectic, so I haven't gotten around to actually giving you an update on Man of Darkness quite like I wanted to, but here we are. On March 29th, I finished edit 1.5 of Man of Darkness with 31,427 words, which was 884 words more than I ended up with in edit 1. I think things went relatively well. I fixed a lot of the weird sentence structures that were left over from when the book was originally written in present tense. I added a lot of stuff around mostly Lucifer. There are a few things that are heavily centered around him. I added some more details. I fixed some descriptions, so on and so forth. I really do like the way edit 1.5 turned out. I finished all of my notes for it, so that way I could write the next book that relates to it this month, which is called Child Sickness, and it's about Karen. I think you saw this side, but here's all the notes for this side of the paper. And then this one too. There was a lot at the end of the book that I just didn't take notes on. Otherwise there would have been at least another full page of notes, but there was just a lot that I didn't need to take notes on, honestly. But I did get a lot of stuff here, and a lot of it's going to apply to Karen's book and eventually Ethan's and Laura's and potentially some of the other beings in hell. Not 100% sure. We will see. But things went well, and I'm very happy with that. At the moment this month, I am working on what will hopefully be the final edit of Cut to the Kill, and after that I am hoping to come back and edit Man of Darkness again, which will be the second edit, which I think is a Grammarly edit. Hoping to do that this month if all goes well with Cut to the Kill. We'll see, but if it does, I will see you guys at some point this month with an update, and if not, I will see you guys next month with an update on edit 2. But for right now, that is all that I have. I'm going to get into editing Cut to the Kill for the day, and hopefully I will see you guys with a Man of Darkness update soon.